The baseball field at Colorado Mesa has seen some great players run around its bases, not only on the Mavericks team, but it's the home of the Junior College World Series. And it's business as usual at San Simplicio Field as the Mavericks were once again selected as the favorites to win the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference baseball title. The Mavs won their 23rd RMAC championship last season, as well as their third straight conference tournament title, as they eventually earned the right to host the regional tournament. They received 7 of the 9 first-place votes. Right behind them in the preseason poll is CSU Pueblo, who received 1 first-place vote and was one of 2 teams to earn multiple wins against Mesa last year. The only other team to beat Mesa on multiple occasions last season was Colorado Mines, who was picked 3rd while also receiving 1 first-place vote. Metro State Denver, Adams State, Regis, New Mexico Highlands, first-year program UCCS, and Colorado Christian round out the 2017 preseason guesses by the coaches. So what does this year's version of the Mavericks baseball team look like? Well, they return an All-American and several All-Conference selections. It's another year on the diamond for the Colorado Mesa baseball team, who comes in with the highest of expectations.
Honestly, I think this could be the year.
That's confidence, but could very easily come to fruition as the Mavericks return several players with starting experience.
We got a lot of guys on this team, a lot of offensive hitters. So if someone's not bringing it one day, then we have a lot of confidence in our depth in the team to, rely on that next guy to come out and perform. Same with pitching. We got a lot of guys in the pen. It's hard to make a starting rotation. It's hard to make a starting lineup with the guys that we have.
It all begins at the top of the rotation, where Mesa returns reigning South Central Region Pitcher of the Year and several-time All-American J.R. McDermott.
Well, there's like all these accolades and stuff personally, but in the long run that means nothing because we as a team have to win. And coming back, I just try not to think about it. It's a new start.
A new start is exactly what this team needs, as the 2016 season ended very abruptly with 2 consecutive losses in the region tournament.
Even with all the injuries, we felt like we still had good enough personnel to win the regional and move on. But when you get late in the year, everybody's real good, and you got to have some timely things happen too, and that didn't happen for us.
It kind of leaves that salty taste in your mouth, where it makes you want to come back and work harder for something bigger. We're always working to progress to the peak at the end of the year.
Now, the baseball team wasn't going to be left home this past summer. Amy Gill returns and tells us about a very special group of baseball players that the Mavericks took a trip with all the way across the country.
Disney couldn't have scripted our trip to Williamsport any better. To this day, the kids and their buddies are still so bonded.
The Colorado Mesa University baseball team took the field one last time after the season in 2016, and it was in Williamsport, Pennsylvania at the Little League World Series.
It was just an opportunity that was once in a lifetime, so it was just incredible.
The Mavericks were there as buddies, escorting the Challenger District 1 Little League team in Grand Junction as they played their game that they were invited to.
You're showcasing to the world that anyone can play baseball with the right situation, the right help, the right volunteers.
The Challenger League gives an opportunity to more than 30,000 children with physical and intellectual challenges across more than 900 leagues worldwide. Individual teams get invited every year to play in a game as part of the Little League World Series. 15 kids got to make the trip with their buddies, 17 players from Colorado Mesa.
They're so important to these kids. I mean, these kids, to them, these guys are Major League Baseball players.
I was pretty pumped because, my family has kind of a history with underdeveloped kids. My mom was a teacher, she helped with that, so it's kind of in my blood a little bit. So when I heard about this trip to Williamsport, I did everything I could to be a part of it, and I'm really glad I did.
Even though they were the volunteers on the trip, it was just as special of a journey for the Mavs. Because for baseball players growing up, going to Williamsport is a dream come true, even if they didn't get to play, but watch their buddies relish the experience instead.
Going onto the field and seeing all different, teams from all over the country. Mexico was there, Italy was there, Australia was there. And just to see all those kids, and they weren't on their phones, they weren't texting, they were locked into the game, and it was a very unbelievable, cool experience.
It was a dream come true. I mean, we have games we'll pack, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people into our stadium, and it seems incredible, but when you show up to one field that's 225 feet long and there's 6,000, 7,000 people. I think the championship game they packed close to 40,000 people all the way around. It was just an atmosphere that you couldn't describe, and let alone just get to enjoy it and cheer them on and have your little buddy next to you screaming as loud as you were. It was humbling to say the least.
For the RMAC Showcase, I'm Amy Gill.
That concludes our third segment of this edition of the RMAC Showcase. When we come back, another trip across the country, but for a very different reason. Plus, the top 5 players from around the conference. Don't go anywhere.